The bipod for the knife is confirmed for the Final Stand DLC. And now that I have your attention, there's also what looks to be like a compound bow from Battlefield 3, a reward for what looks to be the new stage of the Phantom program. Hello everyone, I am Crawlers, and right now I am rushing this video into production as fast as I can edit it, in fact, because there's a ton of delicious info leaked on the Final Stand DLC for Battlefield 4 right now. Well, first of all, you've probably seen this before. We all seen by now the official poster for the Final Stand DLC featuring a soldier with what looks to be a new weapon, more on that in a second, and two tanks. Actually more like self-propelled guns on what looks to be a snow map, similar to the likes of Elbor's Mountains from Battlefield 3. Now, the two fighter planes in the background seem to be the Sukhoi T-50 fighters that we already have in game, but what got people's attention was that one of these tanks seems to be hovering. Can anyone say Type 32 Nekomata from Battlefield 2142? Well, obviously no one can confirm or deny at this point whether it's actually a hover tank, and DICE is being coy for obvious reasons, but it looks very similar to the Swedish S-tank, a post-war main battle tank with a turretless design. Also, I think you will start getting that distinct armored kill DLC vibe from the tank. Now, Simthic did post that there seemed to be a laser beam shader that somehow is connected to the tank in the game files, but honestly, I don't believe it will shoot lasers. That might just be a reference to an actual laser beam sight. Now, next is a weird pod that no one as yet knows what it does. Very Star Wars, very Battlefield 2142. Although it does seem to do damage according to the game files, at least wherever it lands. And that is 3 inner blast radius, 100 blast damage, blast radius of 7, blast impulse of 5000, shockwave damage of 1, and shockwave radius of 8. Also shockwave impulse of 1000 and shockwave time to live of 0.14 seconds. Now, to me, and this is only a guess obviously, but to me this pod seems like it could provide the delivery vehicle for that MKV, the flying minigun. I mean, in all possibility there won't be any Titans that you will drop, and probably the player won't drop onto the field either, but you know, it would be really cool if you could drop the minigun into battle and sort of do damage while it falls too. Now, there's also a snowmobile, not surprising as it would be similar to the model and use of the ATV that we already have. What's weird though is that according to the game files, it uses a weapons placeholder, which is the 25mm AH-1Z cannon. Maybe that's just a placeholder though, as I said. Now there's also the MKV, or the Flying Drone of Death, which we saw at the end of the teaser a while back. According to the game files, this thing has a 2000 rounds per minute rate of fire, 550 rounds per minute burst rate of fire, 10 max damage, 2 minimum damage, which drops off from 250 to 500 meters. The apparent muzzle velocity is 900 meters a second. Minimum spread angle is 1.4. max is 2, and the apparent projectile time to live is 0.67 seconds. Again, very Battlefield 2142. We'll just have to see where this takes us, I guess, in the actual game. There's also a gadget called the Metal Storm, which is basically a futuristic looking defense system that's in prototype right now, somewhat similar to the MP-APS in application. This thing has multiple barrels to simultaneously shower the incoming projectile with a bucket of lead, literally in a fraction of a second. In the game, the specs according to the game files are number of bursts 5, rate of fire 150, gravity 10 meters per second, a rate of fire for burst 1800, starting and end damage 25, minimum and maximum spread 1.8, inner blast radius 1, blast damage 100, blast radius 5, magazine capacity 4, and number of magazines 3. There's also a gadget called the Auto Spot, which works in place of a laser sight but provides detection of enemy movement within a narrow cone. So, think heartbeat sensor from COD, I guess? Something like that. There's also its counterpart, the Decoy DS3, which, when activated, transmits false enemy signals to the enemy minimap. Can anyone say DS-22 sniper decoy from Battlefield 2142? There's also a new Tanto Knife, which admittedly looks badass, but at this point I think if DICE shows us a carrot and says it will be included in the Final Stand DLC, we'll think it's badass. There's also the matter of the gun that the soldier is holding on the official poster. It seems to be a futuristic railgun of sorts, and this belief is reinforced by the fact that gravity doesn't seem to act on its projectiles, according to the game files. The time to live of the projectiles, if I can call them that in fact, is 5 seconds. The damage is 150 at all ranges, making me think this is a pickup weapon like the 50 in the vanilla game that also doesn't have a damage drop-off. The damage fall-off distance happens at 100 to 200 meters, which is redundant obviously since the damage always stays the same. The velocity is a staggering 3600 meters per second. The ADS minimum spread is 0.3 and moving ADS spread is 0.8. The magazine size is one shot only, but you get 8 mags. Reload is also a healthy 6.5 seconds. Also, some more miscellaneous info here. The maps, and here are the screenshots of the maps. They are called Giants of Karela, Hammerhead, Hangar 21, and Operation Whiteout. Now, obviously Operation Whiteout seems to be the Elborz Mountains-esque snow map, and Giants of Karela seems to be a Death Valley-esque night map. Very interesting, very armored kill, very Battlefield 2142. And also leaked are the assignments for the Final Stand and the dog tags, which I assembled all the pictures into one picture here. As you can see, some pretty interesting designs that look as though they've been, taking damage. The dog tags are. So I think that's all the info I have for you right now. Thanks for watching. Please rate and share the video as it helps my channel grow. Check out my other videos at the end of this one. And remember, in Soviet Russia, YouTube subscribes you.